guys, we're going to be doing another collaboration with Sabrina Bell, who you might remember from our last video about sleep paralysis. Check it out if you haven't already.
So the topic that we're going to be discussing is gates to hell. If you check out Sabrina's channel, she'll be doing the same. And what we're going to do is we're going to be looking on the internet for places around the world that supposedly have these portals. Shall we have a look, Saini?
Let's take a look. Apparently 13 places on Earth thought to be entrances to hell.
Wow, 13, unlucky for some.
Exactly.
Now this one did catch my eye. It's an island, I don't know what it is, but the story was quite creepy, so I'm going to read this one to you guys. It's called St. Patrick's Purgatory, and it's based in Low Derg. I'm really sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. St. Patrick involves Station Island, a speck in Ireland's Low Derg. According to the legend, after Patrick had become frustrated with his doubting followers, the Christ appeared to him and guided him to a cave on Station Island. Inside the cave was a pit, which was a gateway to purgatory, where the souls of the dead must endure punishments for their sins before entering heaven. While there, Patrick also received visions of the torments of hell from the 12th century on. Station Island has attracted Catholic pilgrims looking to sit close to purgatory. In 1632, the Lord Justices of Ireland ordered the cave closed, and most of the records of pilgrimages prior to that year were destroyed. But we do know that the pilgrims would fast and pray for days before spending a full day shut inside the cave. Despite the cave being shut, the pilgrimages continued unbroken. Modern pilgrims can still visit Station Island for 3-day pilgrimages, during which they must keep a 24-hour vigil while fasting on the island.
Wow.
Can you imagine doing that?
No way, so it's still being used to this day?
Supposedly, yeah.
Wow.
And so basically you're cleansing yourself of sins. What they're trying to say is that they're sort of like repenting for 24 hours with no food, no water, and they're sitting in a cave, and apparently that's supposed to make them whole again. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Cleanse them of their sins. Gosh, I've never heard of that. But then that reminds me of The Purge as well.
The Purge, yeah, The Purge is sort of like a way of cleansing the nation. The nation of evil and negativity and bad things. So I think that's what this is in reference to.
Yeah, but it dates back to the 12th century.
So that's a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's still going on until this day. So Saini, what have you found?
Mount Heckler. Iceland's particularly active volcano developed a reputation as a gateway to hell in the 12th century, again, 12th century, after its 1104 eruption. Benedict's 1120 Anglo-Norman poem, Voyage of St. Brendan, mentions the volcano as the prison of Judas, the apostle who betrayed Jesus. That reputation continued with further eruptions. After the 1341 eruption, there was a report that people saw birds flying amidst the fire. Birds, some thought, that must really be swarming souls. Even in more recent times, Heckler has maintained its diabolic status, as some superstitious folk have claimed that it's a spot where witches meet with the devil.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I mean, what does it look like? Take a look for yourself at the pictures that we're showing you now.
It's beautiful, actually.
It looks gorgeous.
That doesn't look spooky or scary.
Not at all.
Or in any way sinister. I found this one, Pisgah Castle in Prague. Now, according to folklore, Pisgah Castle, north of Prague in the Czech Republic, is built over a bottomless hole that leads to hell. King Ottokar II of Bohemia, or else a nobleman of the Dubar clan, offered a pardon to any condemned prisoner who consented to be lowered into the pit and report what he saw. The first prisoner lasted only a few seconds before he began screaming. When he was pulled back up, the story goes his hair had turned white, and it seemed he aged 30 years.
What?
And he babbled incoherently about half-human creatures who flapped through the darkness of grotesque wings.
Boy.
Could be bats, though.
That's true. Was he in a cave?
Because if you're in the darkness and you've got no sensory perception, because that's what darkness does to you, it takes that away, and you just envisage the most terrible things and have hallucinations, then maybe it was just bats. The castle was built likely on Ottokar II's orders over the supposed hellhole. Without proper fortifications, a water source or kitchens, the myth asserts that this was because the castle was meant not for human habitation. Who was it meant to be
For what?
habitable for? Odd. But to capture demons. Okay, that just answered the question.
Oh, straight away.
The chapel was supposed to be an actual portion of the fortress erected directly over the gate of hell. The fortress was, however, used as an administrative building and has been used as an aristocratic residence at various points in its history and was renovated and expanded during the Renaissance. The castle's current owners, the story goes on, trade on the building's hellish reputation, setting it up as a spooky tourist attraction.
What I don't understand is, how did this person age 30 years when he was in there for seconds?
Do you know what I've got sort of like a theory that would debunk that.
Yeah.
Fear, come on. If you're put down in the dark in a supposed place that's meant to capture demons and it's pitch dark and it's got a negative energy and you've been challenged to stay there, aren't you going to be petrified with fear? So of course your hair's going to turn white, of course you're going to age, because fear can do so many things to your body. It's about the extent of the shock.
So it's like a physiological
It's
effect.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
What perception did he have when he went down there?
Alright, I've found another volcano. So we had the Heckler, Mount Heckler. Is that a mountain or a volcano? Why is it called Mount? That's weird. It's called the Masaya Volcano. The Aboriginal people of Masaya in modern-day Nicaragua did not believe that the mouth of their caldera was a gateway to the afterlife, but there was a local tradition that the volcano was a god and that a sorceress lived inside its fiery pit. But it was the Spanish explorers who arrived in the 16th century and had little familiarity with volcanoes, so they associated volcanoes with diabolic activity. In 1529, Mercedarian Fray Francisco de Bobadilla hauled a cross up the volcano. What? A cross up the volcano, hoping to exorcise what he believed was the mouth of hell, and he wasn't alone. Friar Toribio Benavente wrote in 1541 that the volcano's persistent activity must have a supernatural cause, and that it must be the place from which the condemned are thrown by the demons. Various religious figures pointed to the volcano as evidence of the horrors that would await sinners in hell. Not all Spanish friars felt the same way, however. Friar Blas del Castillo led the first Spanish expedition inside the volcanic crater in 1538 to search for gold and silver. And while debates as to the nature of the volcano raged through the 16th and 17th centuries, Friar Juan de Torquemada published a theological analysis of Masaya and other volcanoes in 1615, asserting that it was ridiculous to view any volcano as an entrance to hell. Among his arguments was that since souls are incorporeal, hell has no need of physical mouths. It doesn't need a mouth.
It doesn't. So what does that say about all these so-called big holes in the ground, caves, mountains?
Can we write all of them off as not being portals to hell because it doesn't need a mouth?
Is it because they're symbolic of places where the devil would reside waiting for its prey? Or, I don't know, because they're dark and eerie places, aren't they? Caves and pits and what's the other places? Volcanoes. I mean, who would venture down into a volcano? Isn't that dangerous?
Exactly, and I guess the lava kind of represents the hell-like image that we have in our mind.
True. Thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to check out Sabrina Bell's channel, where she'll be discussing other places in the world that are also gates to hell, and the link for her channel will be down below in the description box.
And if you visited any of these places that we've talked about, or if you know of any other portals to hell, can you let us know in the comments below?
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.